Hi, I'm Gil. This is Burkland Gardens. I'm here with Fred and Misty in Lake Forest Park. Fred visited the nursery here a while back, and it's a beautiful morning. We're just going to start by walking through the yard. And since even the 5 or 6 weeks that we were here before, they've installed a paver walkway to a little greenhouse. So, Fred, just kind of tell us about your greenhouse. Probably a lot of hobby gardeners would be envious of having something like that.
Sure. Gil, Max, thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to have you guys. So we've lived in this house now for 6 years, and it was kind of a blank slate when we moved in. We've added a lot of plants and a lot of hardscaping and structures. So yeah, we built this greenhouse last summer. We got started on it, and we built it from scratch, our own design. A lot of reclaimed items, the windows, a lot of the trim work inside, the shelves. We spent a lot of time on it, getting it just right for us. And this is where I work on my plants during the winter. Summertime's usually nothing in there but a mess.
You have a little bit of heat in there?
A little bit of heat for the wintertime, just for me, not for the plants.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cold frame. I don't grow tomatoes or anything.
It's nice to be comfortable in the winter when you're working on your plants.
So. It is.
Yeah.
So you want to walk inside?
Yeah, let's take a look inside, open the door, and Max will get a shot inside there.
So I call it a green shed because it's more of a shed than a greenhouse. This is the cleanest it'll ever be. Come repotting season, it's going to be just a mess in here. Right now I just got all my pots that I've gathered through the springtime and the summer, just kind of sitting out. But in the winter, this will be full of plants. In the winter, early spring, I'm going to be repotting a bunch of my plants. Set up here, dirt everywhere, root pruning, cutting, chopping, wiring. Got wires set up here, all my tools. A sink for watering. And it's just my little oasis, just my little place to hang out. Put a heater in here to keep me warm while I work, and I spend a lot of time in here. I'm really happy with the way everything turned out. Added some lights, more shelves.
We're just gonna look at a couple of trees that Fred got from me just about 5 weeks ago, but then also maybe a little bit in the past. There's a seedling dogwoods, and I think that's a Douglas fir down there.
Yeah, this one I dug up.
Okay.
These two.
And in that one, you did, yeah, that has a nice blue color to it.
Yeah.
The Rocky Mountain Douglas firs have that blue typically, but that's unusual to find a seedling there. It might even be from that type, but the willow tree, the Esk sunset maple, and then a few hornbeams and a holly here. So, but we're just going to continue on up the walkway, the new walkway here. You can see the beautiful lawn. You did mow the lawn yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Of course I did.
Okay, everything's mowed and edged, and let's look at this bed right here, and you can kind of tell
this
us.
This is the front of the bed here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So
I got a weeping beech here.
Is it a purple fountain?
It might be a purple fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it. There's another one called Black Swan. They're essentially identical. Yeah. You can't tell the difference. Right?
I like the shape and the color that they put out.
Yeah.
This is another dogwood that I got from you. That's the difference of putting it in the ground versus keeping it in a pot.
Right. It's developing.
It's going
very
crazy.
Nicely.
Got some spirea scattered here and there, and some heathers, and these two Setsuki azaleas I got from you. And they put on the two color leaves. They were pink and white, or flowers, sorry, and they were absolutely stunning. They were beautiful.
Is those
were the Setsuki azaleas?
Satsukis, or were they?
Setsuki
okay,
azalea.
yeah. Wow.
And the Makawa Yatsubusa I got from you, also doing great.
Yeah.
I thought it might struggle a little bit in this full sun, but it's one of those maples I think that can take it.
Yeah.
And
I find that maples are full sun plants, and there's some of the variegated ones you have to give them some shade.
Right.
But typically in our climate, so yeah, love the Macawas.
Yeah, they're great. This is a Persian ironwood. We got this one to mimic the neighbors over there. It has such beautiful color in the fall. We're hoping to get the same here. Azalea, I dug up out of a yard. A lot of my plants here, you'll see that I've dug out of people's yards.
I found, and azaleas and rhododendrons and a lot of shrubs dig very easily.
Yeah.
And you can get some nice caliper on, especially if you're, looking for that
Mhm.
type of thing where you have,
Somebody's had it in their yard for 20 years or
Yeah.
whatever, and they're just looking to get rid of it. And
Yeah.
I'll come dig it up.
No, I dug up all the old rhododendrons, azaleas in my yard, and
Yeah.
either sold them or sometimes azaleas get too old and they,
Yeah. These ones have really pushed out some
Yeah,
growth. They've gone crazy. They
they're-
were almost naked when I got them.
yeah.
Another dogwood I got from you.
Oh, really?
And that thing was probably only maybe 10 inches tall when I got it.
Yeah.
And that's all this year's growth.
Yeah, I think those were all seedlings from one of our cultivars on the property, so they're looking good.
Yeah, thanks.
Japanese white pine.
Japanese white pine, I really like that one. Nice low
did
growth on it.
Did you get this from me?
I
or-
did not get that one
Yeah,
from
it
you.
looks like I'm looking at the bark here. It looks like a rough bark.
Yeah,
Arakawa.
Down here. It's
Do
pretty rough.
you remember the name?
It didn't have a name on it other than white pine.
Having that rough bark, I mean that's kind of a favored one
Mhm.
for bonsai. Probably a grafted, most likely but that's really nice.
Then we come back. We have a Dawn Redwood there, Gold Rush. That one I did get from you.
Yep.
And it was just a tiny stick when I got it, and it's blown up. It's gone crazy. I cut it back so hard last year, and this year it went nuts.
It's really nice and full.
It is so full.
Are you going to try and control the height in your mind?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to wait till after all the leaves turn.
Yeah.
And then fall off. Then I can see the structure of it a little better and find out where I want to put my cuts.
I mean, they'll get 30, 40 feet tall if they, over a period of time, long period of time, but it's just a super nice tree. And it's nice having it come up the driveway where you just see it first thing. Same thing coming down my driveway, and I've got a video on that where have one in the backyard too. And they're 30 feet tall. Now,
it's a beautiful tree.
Yeah.
It's kind of shading out a couple of these others that some of these I got from you, and I just needed to stick them in the ground, kind of like the others by the greenhouse. And in the winter they'll get some sun and they'll get some colors. But we have some white pines.
Looks like a mini twist or one of the twisted eastern white pine, Pinus strobus.
Got two of those. And it's growing them a little bit different. This one's a little more low and round, and that one I want to be a little more.
This one wants to go up.
Yeah.
A lot of times they are more shrubby like that, but
I cut these ones back when the candles came out. I cut them back, except for that one.
I recommend it because they can get to be large shrubs and bigger than you want sometimes. So by controlling the growth on them, using your techniques, your bonsai techniques as well, just regular pruning techniques to keep them, because you have a space here you want to keep the plants with some separation, and
these might end up in pots some days. You put them in the ground, it really does invigorate the plant to grow, thicken up.
A larch?
Nope, it's a cryptomeria.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm looking for. I don't carry many cryptomerias. I don't have any in inventory right now, but it's a nice little round ball.
It's a nice little round ball, and it turns deep bronze in the winter.
Yeah.
Not much you can do with that one other than stick it in the landscape and enjoy it as far as like bonsai
I think it makes a nice, the color contrast, the size, everything right here is really nice. And then you got a katsura here.
Yeah, that's katsura. That was here. It was probably a 6-foot tree when we moved in. One of the few trees that was here, and it's gotten big.
Yeah.
And this time of year, it puts off this nice smell of like burnt sugar.
Yeah, it's a sweet smell, and people describe it in different ways, like cotton candy.
Cotton candy, exactly.
But you'll get it early in the year too. But at this time of year, it's very pronounced.
Yeah,
it's very pronounced,
and it's weird because you can't smell it on the leaf or anything. But
yeah,
when the leaves fall on the ground and the breeze blows just right, you can definitely smell it.
Yep. You just can't. Yeah, you just never know what you're going to get it. But it's a great treat when you do.
It is neat.
Well, we're gonna follow along on the path. There's some beautiful hydrangeas and boxwoods. Is this a? Can't quite tell. That
This
is
is a
viburnum,
pussy,
huh?
just a pussy willow. This guy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just keep it limbed up.
got it. No, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful wall that kind of separates um, the elevations here and contains this area with your area with the Japanese maple
Yeah.
up in this area, and we're gonna walk up there and see that. So,
Okay.
yeah, hostas are still. We're gonna follow along and
Hostas are doing great
yeah.
still.
I thought they might be starting to go, but hostas and ferns. I like the texture on that fern right there. Sword ferns.
And this is on the north side of the house, and
Yeah,
these guys are doing great.
yeah,
We've had some slug issues here and there, and some rabbits, but
yeah.
you plant enough of them, and
Yep.
they get full quick.
Nice stairs.
Thanks. Yeah, we moved in from down below. This was just a slope coming all the way up here, and it was just dirt. There really wasn't much here. So we turned it into a little fire pit area, some grass, and then we just started planting. The beds have gotten bigger. Initially, it was just right around the grass area, and then it just got deeper and deeper. Every year, got to plant more. We got a couple of full moon maples, hydrangeas, another azalea there in the corner that got dug up. Bloodgood maple. That is a forest pansy redbud there, just getting into fall color.
Redbuds should be used more, I think. And I don't know why they're not. It's just there's a lot of plants out there, but hybrids of them too. So forest pansy's been around for a while.
We wanted something with some color in the early spring, so these should flower. Yeah.
Sure.
We got 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Just to see when they bloom.
One of my favorite grasses, the Japanese forest grass.
Yeah.
It's starting to just go into dormancy now too, and you cut yours all the way back.
I cut
That's
mine
what
back.
I do with mine.
Yeah,
too.
as soon as they start turning yellow and get floppy,
Yeah.
with the rains we get around here, they kind of mat down on the ground.
I think it's a top choice for either Japanese garden, but just in the landscape in general.
Yeah, it's nice when the wind blows through them. They're usually more upright. They're starting to flatten out.
Yeah, they're not looking prime, but they're still looking good.
And then we have this Scots pine that is from you, Little Ann.
Oh, it's a Scotch pine. So, Little Ann. You got some nice little pads here.
Thanks. I've cut it back a couple times.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm just going to let it go.
Let it just kind of
let it fill out.
Yeah. You should only get an inch or two of growth on it, even by letting it go, and you can start refining some of that.
Yeah. I've cut a few branches off that were down lower that were a little sparse.
Yeah.
Just focusing on the more vigorous branches.
Well, it looks good to my eye. How about yours, Max? Yeah. He agrees.
Yeah.
You would take
the whole top? Yeah. There? What would be the new top? Step back here. Oh, yeah. I do see it now. That chop there. Oh, that's a hard chop.
Yeah. Don't make any sudden choices.
Oh, I'd have to attempt the air layer first.
Yeah. They don't air layer well.
But... I know, but I still have to try. Another big bloodgood here, and then our Twombly that we brought from the old house. So we've had that for, we'll say 15, 20 years. I don't know. It started life in a pot, and I love that tree. It's so big.
Well, this is a beautiful setting right here with the lawn, the patio, fire pit, the wall behind the patio, and then just the plants around it.
Yeah. So. Before we planted all these trees, there was full sun here in the evening, and it would just bake up here. Oh. But now with the trees, you can see there's moss growing everywhere. It's a nice little retreat from the sun.
I used to kill the moss on my lawn. Now I don't bother.
I don't bother anymore. I like the moss.
Yeah, it's gives a little softer feel, and you can always deal with it at some point if you want to.
Yeah, and Mother Nature always wins with moss.
Yeah,
with me anyway. So
shade, moss, moisture. I mean, moisture and shade.
Yeah. So now we're starting to put stuff into the ground. There's a little hydrangea that was in that pot. Starting to divide stuff. Do the fall stuff. It's middle of October.
Is this silver lock
Um,
or silver show, or it's one of the Korean
it's one of the
furs?
Korean furs. I think all it said was Korean fur on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably identify it as silver lock, and that's where Icebreaker was a witch's broom off of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very similar to
Yeah, so it's going to be the more. They're slow growing, but they will get to be
this one
definitely a
hasn't
small
been
tree.
slow growing. It puts out branches.
Yeah.
So much. I've cut it back, and it just flushes back out.
Yeah.
I'll probably need to repot it or replant it, straighten it out a little bit.
Yeah. But slow growing, I mean, it doesn't get 100 feet tall, but it's you know, definitely they'll get 20 feet, 25 feet. But mine are only 12 feet tall or so, 12 to 15, and they've been in the ground for 20 years or so.
I wouldn't mind that one getting 12, 15 feet tall.
But everything in your yard seems to do very well. It grows very aggressively. So
thanks.
A little bit of glass art. I wish I had more. Some glass art.
Yeah, it's from a local artist here in Shoreline.
Is it?
Yeah, father and son.
Nice.
Blow those, and we've got quite a few. A lot of them are hidden in plants right now.
Yeah.
And flame bush or fire bush? I can never remember.
Burning bush.
Burning bush. There you go.
Yeah.
And that was dug up out of somebody's yard too.
Yeah, Euonymus salata. So they're starting to get they get a really bright color, and they're just starting to go right now. So.
And it's covered in berries. A lot of people worry about them kind of taking over.
So this is supposed to be the more dwarf one.
Yeah.
But it still gets to be a large shrub, so just keeping it contained.
Yeah, that's going to get a big cutback after all the leaves fall because it put on a lot of growth. It was almost dead when I got it.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell what it was.
You got a wooded background with some large trees.
Firs, big leaf maples. Lots of big leaf maples.
I was cleaning up maple leaves yesterday.
Yeah, I do it every day. And they're still kind of green. They're starting to turn brown, but all the seed pods up there, it's all going to come down here very soon.